Jeff Bezos first became a billionaire in 1998 with a net worth of $1.6 billion. And it took him all the way until 2017 to finally become the richest person in the world, when he had a net worth of more than $90 billion. Bezos then topped our billionaires list every year until this year, 2022, when he was finally unseated by Elon Musk. As of December 2022, Bezos sits in the top 5 richest people in the world, with a net worth north of $100 billion. So let's take a look at the assets that contribute to his wealth and how they fared this past year, with Forbes wealth editor Chase Peterson Withorn.
Jeff Bezos became a billionaire with what maybe seemed like a simple idea at first, which was to take the bookstore and move it online. But really what's made him the richest person in the world, and now one of the richest people in the world, is this crazy expansion into all sorts of other things. So, they're dominant in, cloud computing, and he owns MGM Studios and, a number of other things. Most of Bezos's wealth is really tied up still in his Amazon stock. And it's been a rough year for Amazon stockholders, and maybe no one more than Bezos, who owns about 10% of the company. So shares of Amazon peaked in the summer of 2021 during the pandemic boom, when everybody had sort of rushed to buy as much stuff online versus in person as possible. And since then, the stock market is down overall. Tech-heavy companies are especially hit because they were, especially sort of driven up during the pandemic. Amazon's also faced supply chain issues that are plaguing a lot of retailers. For the year of 2022 so far, Amazon stock is down about 40%, and that's translated to a loss in wealth of about $70 billion for Jeff Bezos. So he started the year worth close to $200 billion, and now he's worth around $120 billion. Most of Bezos's wealth is definitely tied up in Amazon, but he's sold, I think, something like $27 billion worth of stock over the years. And he's used that money to diversify and fund all sorts of things. So he owns, a number of homes. He has a couple planes, but a couple big investments he's made are in the Washington Post and Blue Origin. He bought the Washington Post in 2013 for $250 million. And it turned out to be a pretty solid investment. The Post is now worth an estimated $2 billion. It's a little harder to say how much of a profit he's made so far on Blue Origin, which is his, private rocket company. It's certainly safe to say it's a bit of a passion play for Bezos. He went to space in 2021, and they continue to, to develop rockets and try to develop the space tourism industry. That stake is worth more than $8 billion today, although he's certainly poured billions of dollars into it since founding it. Among the wealthiest people in America, Bezos wasn't known as a super philanthropic guy. At the top of the list, it's people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, who are two of the biggest philanthropists of all time, and two people who co-created the Giving Pledge, which does ask the world's billionaires to pledge to give the majority of their wealth away, either in life or in death. And Bezos sort of infamously hasn't signed the pledge. And for a number of years, didn't make a lot of big donations. And it was really highlighted or sort of underscored when, he divorced, his wife, Mackenzie Scott, and she turned around and started giving away the money that she, got from Bezos in the divorce at breakneck pace, billions and millions of dollars, quarterly, basically, every year, billions of dollars. Recently, he did come out and say that he plans to give away the majority of his wealth in his lifetime. So we're talking, $60+ billion, in the next few decades would be the goal. Still has a long way to go. Bezos has given something like $2.5 billion away, which represents about 2% of his wealth. But so far, he's made a big pledge to the climate with something called the Bezos Earth Fund. He's given maybe about $1.4 billion to that. He's also given something like $400 million to the Bezos Day One Fund, an effort to combat homelessness. He's pledged $200 million to support the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum. He recently has started doing this thing called the Courage and Civility Award, where he will give somebody $100 million for them to donate to a nonprofit of their choice. And so just recently, he gave this year's award to Dolly Parton. So overall, something like $2.5 billion.